unbelievable week one this has been, right? Dating back to Thursday night was great. Friday night was fascinating. Yesterday was ridiculous. And if you didn't stay up late last night, you missed a masterpiece. It was the game of the year. Any year. There you see the two quarterbacks. Let's take you through what you missed if you didn't stay up late last night.
And no bigger play than that one right there.
Play after the turnover.
Yeah, I love the play call. I love the play design. 3 tight ends on the field. Josh peeks to hold Hamilton, the safety, then finds that rookie tight end, Jackson Hawes, down the seam.
Miracle comeback and find their way to a win that will resonate in January, we would assume. Since 2000, teams in Buffalo's position, trailing by 15 points with under 4 minutes left, were 3 and...
like I said at the beginning of the season, we got a lot of season left.
They certainly do. And look, this is a game that I think I speak for all of us when I say I hope we see it again in January, because it's about as good as it can possibly get. You made a great point in our meeting this morning.
Well, let's start off with this. There are people who went to bed last night with the Baltimore Ravens winning 40-25 and woke up. Baltimore Ravens looked like they were as dominant as any team in the National Football League and might just be the best team. The truth of the matter is Buffalo came back and found a way to win. If these sides play 10 times, each side might win 5. The difference now with Buffalo having won this game is that with Buffalo's schedule setting up the way it is, with the Bills playing in the AFC East, with them having one of the easiest strength of schedules in the National Football League, the chances are they have a distinct advantage now in getting home field advantage. I know it's 1 week, but they have Josh Allen. He's a cyborg. He leads them to victories. He does things like this. And the chances are the road to the Super Bowl now goes through Buffalo.
You see, they're favored in 16 games. They have exactly 16 games remaining. There's something I want to try and get to the bottom of here, and I think this is interesting. There have been 8 games now in which the Ravens, going back to the last 5 years, had at least a 90% probability of winning, and they wound up losing 8 times. That's 3 more than any other team. And I found myself wondering, is there a way to explain that? And Rex, I think you've come as close as we possibly can in what the mentality of the Ravens is and how maybe it needs to shift.
Yeah, I think the mentality of the Ravens has always been that we are a defensive football team first. The pride of that franchise is that defense, having the baddest defense on the planet. That's why they fire all the capital they do into that defense. All those first-round picks, 5 DBs are first-round picks. So they assume once we get, because it always used to be this mentality, and I was part of that mentality. Once we get a lead, game, set, match, over. It's over. Put us out there with a lead of any kind, right, we would win.
And that's why you punt on 4th and 3.
And that's exactly why you punt.
On your defense.
And John Harbaugh historically has always will punt in that situation. I think right now John needs to take a hard look. And I think realize, like, you got the game,
right?
It's over.
Have the Dan Campbell mindset that he's had with the Lions over the past couple of years. If it's 4th and 3, we're going for it.
Absolutely. Maybe not to that extent, but game on the line certainly have that mentality, Dano.
So I think that's as good an explanation as I can come up with for why the Ravens always seem to lose these games. And you see Hembo telling you they go for it less than
play of the game. That's the play of the game. I do think going back to the end of the first half and seeing how well they operated that last 2-minute drive in the situational management was fantastic. Okay, so 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Their job is to just run those guys off. And then that tight end, Kincaid, that defender's playing outside of him because you're trying to keep the ball in the middle of the field, so you run away from him, and that's Kyle Van Noy. He's just standing on the sideline. Josh just tries to get him to step up for a foot, and then he's got that chance to get that crosser. This is phenomenal by Buffalo of just clearing coverage and understanding that that defender is, and Rex knows this, gets taught play outside Dalton Kincaid. Well, is it going to matter? God bless, it matters at the end of the game. So I just thought some of the situational stuff that Buffalo had, and I love Buffalo as well, or Baltimore as well. I picked them to win the Super Bowl too. But there is it seems that Buffalo seems to be situationally prepared and execution driven in those moments, and then Baltimore, I feel like, leaves a little bit left to be desired in some of those situations.
That play right there, I mean, is an amazing thing. This Joe Brady guy.
He's awesome.
Like,
offensive coordinator for the Bills.
Offensive coordinator for the Bills is going to be a head coach next year.
Here it is.
Here it is again.
This is ridiculous. This is just phenomenal play design. And yes, your quarterback has a bazooka for an arm, but it's just phenomenal play design. And Dan, when you're describing this is outstanding. And Van Noy, yes, he's there to guard the boundary, right? Who's he worried about? He's worried about Josh.
Yeah.
Taking
and he's
off.
uncomfortable in that situation as well,
He's
just
gotta
playing
learn to
coverage,
sink at
15
that,
yards. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just phenomenal play design. And it's just like, but you see it over and over by that staff of Buffalo, especially that Joe Brady.
G-Wood, get in here.
Here's what I look at with this game. I think both defenses in big games tend to let you down. The difference to me is Josh Allen. Josh Allen in these big games plays his best games.
Yeah.
The one criticism we always have with Baltimore is, when is Lamar Jackson going to have that Lamar Jackson type game that we see in the regular season? Josh Allen does it, not only in the regular season, but in the postseason. Really, the only thing holding Josh Allen back in the postseason has been
Baltimore. I understand it's week 1, all that, not overreacting, but you do have to sit there and go, where was our pass rush? Where's somebody to get home? Van Noy's had an outstanding career. He's coming off a good season, but like, where is somebody that got home? And like, they got 5 first-round picks in their secondary. 5 first-round picks, and it was obvious that
that football team was for 3.5.
Sure.
It says 2 other things also. It says that, A, you have to make the big mistake to lose the game, and Derrick Henry was probably the best player on the field most of the night, but he makes the fumble, and that gives the Bills the chance, and the other is Josh Allen is just ridiculous. Okay, we keep it rolling. Sunday statements after an awesome slate of games. Let's make a few others. Dan, who else made a statement yesterday?
I thought Deebo Samuel, and immediately sometimes it was Jaden Daniels being a ball carrier. Sometimes it was just to attract the attention of the defense to flow to one side and open up their offense.
in Seattle.
This back there, the Raiders look better. You
do.
got Pete Carroll, so you got a veteran guy that's riding the ship there. In Denver can move the ball with Sean Payton, but it's their defense that's going to keep them in it. Oh, and by the way, the best quarterback in the country right there in Patrick Mahomes with Kansas City. It's wide open. Pick one, anything, shake them up, anything could happen.
Well, the Chiefs are alone in last now, for what it's worth. I'll take a picture of it because it won't stay that way, but all the other teams in that division wound up winning this weekend, and the Chiefs are the only ones who wind up losing. And you had the note yesterday, speaking of a veteran coach, took me a little by surprise about what Pete Carroll did yesterday that had never been done before.
Pete Carroll became the oldest coach in history to coach in an NFL game yesterday. 73 years, 357 days, whatever it was. He's going to be 74 years old. He doesn't act like that. And that team played with a certain amount of energy. We talked about the juice that the Packers had. It felt like the Raiders on the road had some of that juice. And with Geno Smith and these 2 young offensive weapons and Brock Bowers,